If you've had a rough homeschool year and you're really not sure if this is something that you want to continue, let me share with you 4 ways to tell if your homeschool is really working. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle and this is A Common Life, and today I want to share with you something very serious. A lot of us really struggle with feeling like our homeschool is not working anymore. We've had a really hard year or some really hard moments, or maybe we're dealing with a really difficult child and we just want to give up. We just want to be done with it. We're tired of it. Everyone is tired of it. Everyone is feeling frustrated. So how do you tell? How do you know if your homeschool has actually been working? And I thought I would share with you just a few ways that you can tell if it is actually still working for you and your family. Number 1, your child is mastering new subjects and moving ahead and making progress. That is the absolute easiest way to tell if your homeschool is working. If you are not sure, you can go ahead and give your child a quiz, or you can go online and find like an assessment test or an end of the year test or something like that if you're not really sure if your child is making progress. Usually as a homeschool parent, it's pretty easy to tell because you're usually, right there by their side as they're going through their work and completing subjects and getting things done. So usually for the most part, you should be able to tell if they are understanding the concepts. But if you're not sure, go and look online maybe for a quiz or an assessment to see if you can make sure that your child is actually progressing and is moving ahead. Because the goal is from year to year, you want them to progress at least a grade level and complete a curriculum for an entire year. Number 2. Your child is still engaged in what they are learning. Now, some children can become very bored or frustrated with a subject, and there can be different reasons as to why that is. First of all, it could be because it's just too easy, and they're just bored, and they just want to move on, and they just want to do something else. The second reason could be because it's actually too hard. Maybe the subject is too difficult. Maybe the workbook is too difficult. So maybe it's time for you to slow down, or maybe just try something different. Try a different approach. Try a different curriculum. Maybe if they're struggling in like history or science, maybe try a different topic. There's lots of ways that you can kind of work around that problem. So if they really aren't engaged in what they are learning, you as the homeschool parent are the one that needs to fix that problem. If that means giving up the curriculum that you purchased for the year, do it. Honestly, do it if you have to. There are free curriculums online, free programs like All-in-One Easy Peasy Homeschool, or you can go to free homeschool deals. There's lots of different websites where you can try to find some things for free. That way you don't have to buy a new curriculum, at the end or partway through the school year. You can just try to use some things to supplement and finish out the year, but if they're not engaged, it's just not worth it. Number 3 is that your homeschool day doesn't feel like it's dragging on every single day and everyone's bored, or your children are not getting completely distracted every day. Now, some kids are going to be bored and some kids are going to be distracted because that's just their nature and that's just the way they are. So if you have a child with that type of personality, that may just be the way they are a lot of the time. You may have a grumbly, complainy kid and they may grumble and complain a lot of days. But once you get them started, once they get moving, or, as long as they're able to get a lot of their work done, just know that they would probably be like that regardless. That may just be their personality. So one thing that you can do if they are grumbly and if they are complainy is just try to make it more fun, especially if they're younger. If they're older, maybe set up a reward system. Like if they, get their assignment done in a certain amount of time, or if they read so many pages a week or something like that, if there's something that they really don't enjoy doing. I have a son who hates reading. Well, no, he doesn't. He actually enjoys reading. He thinks he hates reading. And so what we ended up doing, I think in the fall, we had him read 100 pages a day. And now he loves reading and he reads all the time. So we had to push him. We had to push him out of his comfort zone and give him rewards for the accomplishments that he did. And now he loves it. So I think sometimes if you have a grumbly, complaining kid, it doesn't mean that your homeschool is failing. It just is, that's just the way your kid is. But if you do have children who are usually very, happy-go-lucky kids who enjoy learning and they're not happy, then maybe your homeschool really isn't working. Then maybe you need to make some changes. Maybe you need to change up your routine. Maybe you need to change up the way that you're teaching. Maybe the location that you're teaching. Maybe your kids would like to be learning outside or sitting on the couch or something like that. There's different easy ways to kind of switch things up. One thing, if you have kids who are, complaining and don't want to do work, rewards-based systems are really good. A chart where you put stickers and you kind of maybe take them out for ice cream or something when they filled up their chart. Those work really well for kids that just don't like to get their work done. For the happy kid who is usually, very good and very happy to get their work done, if they're not happy, then maybe you need to switch things up a little bit. Now, number 4 is all about you as the homeschool mom and whether or not you feel like homeschooling is what you still want to continue doing. If you no longer feel confident in your decision, you may need to take a step back and kind of figure out why you're even doing this in the first place. I have seen a lot of people recommend that when you first decide to homeschool, you kind of write down all of the reasons why you did that. What led you to homeschooling your family? And so if you have done that, go back and look at that paper and see what were all of those reasons. Or if you didn't do that, which I never did, just go back and kind of think about those reasons or think about why now it is important for you to homeschool. Because for me personally, my reasons have changed from the very beginning until now. I have different reasons for why I homeschool now than I did when we started 6-7 years ago. I think it is very important to look back, but also to look forward. Why now, at this point, do you want to homeschool in the future? Why is that important for your family? Why do you want to continue on this path that you're on, even if it's difficult? And if at this point you decide, I do want to continue, but it's hard, maybe you just need to change things up. Maybe you change your curriculum. Maybe you change where you homeschool. Maybe you send your kids to a co-op. There's lots of different ways to make things different. You could completely change your style. If you were completely workbook based, maybe you go Charlotte Mason. If you were Charlotte Mason based, maybe you go classical. I mean, you can switch things around. Maybe you go Waldorf. I mean, there's lots of different types of ways to homeschool. And so you don't have to feel like you're kind of stuck in a certain way. If you feel like it is not working for your family, research. There are so many YouTube videos or blogs or websites where you can find out information about homeschooling and try to find whatever fits best for your family. So if you still feel in your heart of hearts that you need to be homeschooling, but it has been really, really hard and you are not enjoying it, find a new way to do it. Figure out a new way to make it work for your family, to make you and your kids happy, because you don't want to be miserable. This is your whole life. If you're a homeschool mom, this is what you're doing. This is your day to day, and this is all of the interactions that you're having with your kids. And if they're miserable, it's just not the way to be. So all that to say, even in the end, if you feel like you really don't want to be homeschooling anymore, and that is the decision that you have come to, be okay with that decision. Don't feel guilted by all of us homeschool moms who are going to be homeschooling next year. Don't even think about it. Don't even look at those people. Look into yourself, look at your children, look into your children's eyes, talk to your spouse, and make sure that this is the decision that is right for everyone, and then go ahead with peace. I hope this video was helpful to you. I know that deciding whether or not to homeschool, it's a really big deal for so many of us. There are lots of us who have gotten partway through and have wanted to just give up. And I've been there, and I know what it feels like. And so if you are feeling that way, really try to figure out why you're feeling that way. What is going on before you make any big decisions or big steps in a different direction. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions for me, please put those in the comments down below. I love to answer comments. I try to do it as quickly as possible. And please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. Have a great day.